and Kyndall, and we're here to talk about motivation in school. So,
Motivation can come from many different areas and aspects throughout an individual's life. But the two main important types of motivation would be intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation would be motivation that's coming internally from oneself. That would be an example of me wanting to perfect my skills in sewing so I can do better, produce better garments. An extrinsic type of motivation would be something that has an outside influence, maybe like a reward or a consequence, good or bad. But however, in schools, the extrinsic motivation can be misinterpreted. And Jack has an example of what that would be.
so here is a picture of a before shot. This is a classroom where the teacher is teaching the kids how to do stuff and they're paying attention. And then in this picture, they're having a pizza party because they all did really well on their tests. Because they were motivated, if they did well on their tests, they would get a pizza party or some sort of other reward, which is what a lot of teachers typically do. However, the after results is the teacher is trying to review and the students aren't understanding or remembering what they did a week ago, a couple days ago, a couple months ago, because their only goal was to do good on the test and not learn it for the future.
Exactly, and we've experienced that as mentors in our classes this year and also as students in our entire academic careers.
I know I have a personal story of misinterpreted motivation. I knew at the beginning of the year, my pod, my small group of students in my class, they had difficulty coming to school prepared. Usually for those, like, the circumstances of our freshman assist class, and but yet they had been in going to they knew the routine, they knew Mrs. Cooley's regiment and her rules and how her expectations were for their class. And because it was November and they were still having difficulties, I said, hey, if everyone can come to class prepared, for a week, I'll bring in candy bars. And that worked exactly to what Jack had said. They were unfocused, they didn't do anything. When they did bring in their stuff, they were rewarded. But however, exactly the Monday after that had happened, after that I gave them their motivation or their reward, they went back to their routine and they did not bring in anything. And I was really a punch in the stomach for somebody who, because I put my faith in them and blah blah blah, and I really shame on me for expecting to having so much faith in the candy bar to get a student to do something that should be already a responsibility to have it. Thank God for this research.
Exactly. And piggybacking off of that, really quickly, we realized that as a part of our experience with the kids, and like we said before, as a part of our own experiences, we realized that motivation needs to be custom. It needs to be tailor-fit to the students. And Jack and I, because we're in Mr. Burns' English class, and earlier in the year he gave the students projects that they could choose which different kind of project they'd like to do. They had 4 different options. And the kids got extremely excited about that because they were able to add their own personal influence into their project without feeling like they had to fit into a box that the teacher made for them. So with that kind of motivation, with them being able to express themselves and do something that they enjoy and share that with a person and be graded well on it, they were able to be very successful. Whether it was turned in on time or not was a different story. But we realized that motivation needs to be more of a specialized area in teaching.
I think that's pretty much it. So.
And how are you staying motivated?
I mean,
for us being seniors and the big senioritis, and it does exist. You might not want to, it's not something that you just bring on, but it's something that mentally happens.
Like this year, I really didn't want to do a lot of my schoolwork, and I really wanted to blow off stuff because I've been going hard for 3 years, but I had to remember that I was getting graded still by colleges on my senior year, and I really wanted a scholarship to get to a school, and I had to work hard for it, and it paid off, and now I'm really glad that I stuck with it. So there's always some sort of goal, and if you reach your goal, you're going to really be glad that you did. And so that's why it's really important for the students to have these motivations, because if they don't, then they're not going to feel like how we feel whenever we reach our goals, and it's really important to reach them, because then you feel like you've done something, and it makes you feel awesome.
You feel pretty awesome to me.
Thanks for tuning in to our Carm Ken Jack talk today about motivation in schools.
Coming up with these names.